They shouldn't have to put people in handcuffs for marijuana in the first place. The bias factor is a lot different when you're writing somebody a $25 civil ticket as opposed to when you're putting them in handcuffs and taking them to a prosecutor's office. So, and again, a ticket allows a conversation that handcuffs don't. And I think we might have seen that in Philadelphia last week in a coffee shop here. So, you know, when police officers are forced into a situation where their only option is an arrest, they don't get to have any more conversations at that point. So again, decriminalizing marijuana gives police officers and cannabis consumers a great tool. It's not my end goal though, John. I mean, believe me. Let me tell you the difference between legalization and decriminalization. In a legalized state, when you encounter a cop and you have your marijuana, you both smile and walk away, and you walk away with your marijuana. But in decriminalized Philly, after you smile and walk away, you walk away with a ticket and the cop walks away with your marijuana. So that's the big difference between legalization and decriminalization. Now, Philadelphia saw one of the fastest reductions in marijuana arrests of any city that took this approach. Within months, we saw marijuana arrests go from 5,000, I mean, we had 5,000 marijuana arrests every year in this city. We saw that go down 85% in the first year. So we went from 5,000 marijuana arrests to less than 1,000 in the first year. And that's a huge impact on the community. I mean, again, not just the savings to our courts and the time for our police officers, but the sense that everybody who smokes marijuana in the city knows that they're not going to be put into handcuffs anymore. The bad news was racial disparities remained the same. Abington's a good example of a community that we've seen marijuana arrests suddenly go up for no good reason. But one of the weird things about Abington, a community of 80% white people, by the way, Abington's marijuana arrests used to be mostly white, but as the number of them increased, in the last 5 years, it flipped to be mostly black. So how is it that a community of 80% white residents arrests mostly black people for marijuana, and all of a sudden that changed in the last few years? You know, we've got to ask hard questions about how that police department is training its officers, how they're treating people of color every day, not just with marijuana.